far-right conspiracy theory, deliberate misinformation, QAnon, Pizzagate, CNN, and socialist media have been all abuzz about it, so I knew it had to be good and it had to be true, so I went and saw Sound of Freedom 2023. When you dance with the devil doesn't change, the devil changes you. A haunting line that I will always remember from another great film, 8mm. That film delved into an uncomfortable level look at a deviant and pervert culture, even up to and including the murder of innocent women. I liken it to Sound of Freedom, or Sound of Freedom rather to it, because it has that similar effect. The longer you view it, the more you're involved in being pulled into it, the more you see just the level of darkness and depravity. Sound of Freedom does a great job of not showing you anything remotely explicit, and yet in that artfully genius way, they craft it so that you know exactly what's going on, and all the hideousness of it that they can't show is implied. It also does a spectacular job of capturing the whole spectrum. No wonder it sparked outrage in certain radical leftist circles. We do meet a twisted individual near the beginning who's written a book about his, shall we say, preferences, defending it openly in his book, and yet skirting the law to get away with it illegally, wanting you to think of him as someone who's, well, attracted to a certain age group of people, not someone who's a disgusting, hideous pervert. And from there, we sort of keep sliding down the trafficking food chain to places where kids are abducted, trafficked for a variety of reasons, everything from slave labor to sexual slavery, working in what appear to be narcotic poppy fields of some sort in South America, as well as being in brothels and other godforsaken hellholes. The only singular thing that I felt was a little bit off with the movie, and I think that's artistic rendering for audiences to be able to emotionally absorb it, was that when they found kids and rescued them, there was a whole lot of hugging and kissing on the cheeks and picking up and carrying these kids around. And from a therapeutic standpoint, given what they've been through, they're not going to want, you should not be touching them for quite a while. That seemed to be something they were oblivious to in this film. But again, I think it was to feed the needs of the audience who want to see a rescue child hugged. An incredibly well acted, well executed, an amazing performance, and what a story. It really pulls you in, and it does everything great art should do and conveys what is rooted in a true story with the realistic elements in a way that should also be done. For a story based on a true story rooted in real events, and these in particular, I cannot possibly recommend Sound of Freedom enough. But a warning, even though they avoid showing anything too explicit, the implications there are so dark and devastating they can impact you. If you are faint of heart, if you just feel like you can't deal with that, if it's going to be too much, it might be too much for you. It takes a certain amount of something just to get through it.